welcome to Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini Sleep World. Monte, Poole, and I, Zena, Keita, are in Miller and Lux here at Chase Center, right around Thrive City. I wish we could be enjoying this wonderful meal that we're about to have with Miller and Lux and cheersing to a win from the Warriors. But unfortunately, Monte, Indiana Pacers remain undefeated in Chase Center, winning tonight against the Warriors 111 to 104. 105, excuse me. I'm like still blown by the way that game ended. Thoughts on it?
Well, the Warriors started off sloppy.
Yes.
Kind of fell behind, and they were playing catch up most of the night. And Steph didn't really get going. He didn't make a shot until late in the second quarter. But the problem is that nobody else was doing a whole lot either.
Yeah.
And Kuminga got going. He was the one guy who got going tonight and scored 26 points, game high. But I thought two things that needed to happen didn't happen. One, the Warriors defensively did not force any turnovers. They got 0 points off Indiana turnovers.
Right.
That means your defense isn't working hard enough to get the ball. And two, I thought that Steph, when he made that shot late in the third quarter to pull the Warriors within 6.
41 seconds left. First basket for him throughout the game.
First three, so the whole crowd, you felt the energy all of a sudden. It surged, carried over into the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter was competitive.
Yeah.
And the Warriors actually took a couple of leads in the fourth quarter, but couldn't hang on. I just thought if they had played defense through the first three quarters, the way they played in the fourth quarter, they would have won this game.
Now, we're talking about the fourth quarter, and we're watching some clips from that fourth quarter, particularly in crunch time, or as the NBA labels it, clutch time. Now, the Warriors right now, 17 clutch games on the season, 8 of 9 on that final record. They continue to find themselves in this position where they're trying to close out games rather than having an early lead and playing it nicely. They keep having to be in clutch time. Now, Monte, I'm gonna rattle off some stats on how they perform in the clutch.
Let's do that.
Right now, they are 25th in three-point percentage when in clutch minutes. They are 23rd in the league in field goal percentage when in clutch minutes. They're 26th in free throw percentage in clutch minutes. Basically, their offense does not work for them in clutch minutes. Why do they keep ending up in this position when they know it's not conducive to trying to get a win?
Well, first of all, those stats are legit. But the Warriors, over the last 5 weeks, have been the worst fourth quarter team in the NBA. They got the worst net rating. Their three-point shooting, like you mentioned, some of those stats, right in line. They're bottom 5 in almost every important area in the fourth quarter. 2, they are not good enough to run away from most teams. There will be nights when they were able to, because every team has a night or two when they can beat somebody by 20. The Warriors are not good enough to do that. They'll get better, I believe. But right now, what you saw in the first 3-4 weeks, when they were 12-3, they're playing a lot of teams that aren't very good, some teams that were injured, and they were taking advantage of it. Since then, it's like back to earth now. The real NBA is coming after you. And tonight they played a team that plays 5 out. Miles Turner is their center.
Right.
And he's banging threes.
Correct.
Comfortably.
Shooting over 40% from 3.
Pascal Siakam, their power forward, banging threes. So that's hard to defend for any team, especially one that is operating at a size deficit like the Warriors are.
Right.
So there's going to be games like this because they're just not built to run away from the better NBA teams. And they got to find ways to win games like this, because if they don't, they're going to be, as Steph said a couple of weeks ago, mediocre.
Well, speaking of Steph, he's at the podium. Let's see what he had to say about tonight's loss.
I think that last stretch of the second quarter was kind of rough. We lost a little bit of momentum, gave them life. Went from one possession game or we had a lead actually, then to down 8, and then fought back. Second half, played with a lot of energy. I think down the stretch, that's obviously make or miss league. I missed 2 big shots. Wanted to tie, wanted to try to take the lead. Shots that, pride myself on. Got to make those. They are very athletic and try to play, physical. And we had spurts where we could match that, but we got to be able to put it together 40 minutes where you sustain that level of intensity and IQ and execution. And against a team that has that many offensive threats, if you give them life, then it's going to be tough. So I got to play better, and I will. But I think as a whole, we just got to maintain our confidence in what we're doing, and not have those little spurts where we give a team life.
You obviously had the big finish the other night in the win. But overall in December, your shooting numbers are down. Just how do you feel right now? How does your game kind of feel?
Like it can be a lot better, and it will be. You're being defended a certain way, but it's nothing I haven't seen before. You just gotta understand, when to pick and choose your spots based on the attention you get the ball moving. Try to find a rhythm a little earlier. That might be a little bit of an adjustment, but something I've been through, and I always try to find a way to bounce back.
Steph, along those lines, I mean, you have tomorrow and then Christmas Day, LeBron and the Lakers are here in prime time. I mean, does that give you a chance to bounce back right away? And how much do you look forward to those, big Christmas Day matchups?
The more you're going to go through it, the more comfortable you get with the balance of family and playing a game. Obviously it's a big game. I think another game or two teams who wanted to be in better positions going into Christmas, trying to still figure it out. So we're at home. We haven't really protected home court well as of late. Christmas spirit hopefully can bring some gifts our way with the win. So excited for the opportunity, knowing it's a chance to bounce back.
Steph, I mean, you've dealt with Nemhard as far as a defender on you a few times. I mean, what's made him good on you? Basically, what makes him just tenacious? What stands out about how he guards you and what he does well in that matchup?
I think certain guys and schemes where you could tell their job is to stay on me, don't worry about anything else, and if they have the endurance to do it, it's you kind of love that back and forth kind of battle. Yeah, I think he takes defense. That's his role, especially in that starting unit. Whoever the best scorer is, go-to guy, he takes that responsibility. But I'll find a way.
Steph, I don't know if it's just impression, but looks like you're changing here. You're changing your game like a little bit, like you're looking to pass your teammates more and shooting less. I don't know if this is happening, but can you talk about that?
Well, how teams defend, they're gonna not. I mean, one of the game players is probably gonna try to take away my looks and get the ball going other places, which we're fine with because usually that creates good shots for other guys on our team. I need to get be able to use my shot as a threat, be able to score the ball the way I'm used to, and I think more and more the other people are selling out, trying to send bodies, whether it's traps off ball screens or if I'm off the ball, make sure guys are aware of where I'm at, but. The more you kind of see that, the more comfortable you get understanding, again, where to pick and choose your spots, where to be aggressive. Tonight, I kind of let them take me out of it in the first quarter. I think I only got one shot in the first quarter, and that's unusual for sure. So I need to solve that puzzle.
I was going to kind of...
They got to solve that puzzle. It is not easy when your leading scorer, the star of which your team is built around, doesn't get his first bucket until the third quarter. But I'll say the bench stepped up tonight in the midst of Steph not getting his buckets early. Between Jonathan Kuminga attacking the basket, Buddy Hield coming in, being crucial in that second and third quarter.
Yeah.
What'd you make of the bench's performance tonight?
Well, I thought J.K. played smart basketball. I mean, he gets knocked for some of the decisions he makes that are not smart decisions. But tonight, he passed the ball when he should have. He had 4 assists, which for him is pretty good. That means he's seeing his teammates.
Right.
And sometimes that's not been the case. But when he has 26 points and 4 assists, and it's efficient, you love that.
Right.
That's what you want to see from J.K. That's the kind of night that can make him some money.
Yes.
And so if he continues that, I'm not saying he has to do it every night, but if he plays like that and he's able to sprinkle in some assists, some rebounds, and some efficient scoring, he can make a lot of money in this league.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about Pods' performance because I think that in the midst of some of the errors that were made, he quickly made up for them several times throughout the night. I particularly remember a rebound in which him and Steph fought for a rebound and ended up in Pascal Siakam's hands. Yeah. He scores a bucket, but on that very next play, Steph comes down the court, gives it to Pods, who dribble drives in and gets a 3 for JK, a nice assist. So I'm feeling as if there's a lot more clarity on what Pods needs to do to clean things up.
Yeah, I think with Brandon, though, you notice that his tendency when he screws up, he usually tries to do something to make up for it.
Right, immediately.
Yeah, and it hasn't always been that way this year for me. It was that way last year a lot. This year, hit and miss. But tonight, one of those nights when you saw him doing little things that matter. And that's when he's at his best, when he can actually, if his shot's falling, that's great. But when he can do little things that influence winning, that influence your possessions, that help your possession on offense and getting away on defense. I mean, Brandon's not going to lock anybody down, okay?
Yeah.
But he has a way of positioning himself and getting into the middle of the fight. He'll not a big guy, but he'll go in there with the big guys and he'll punch out dribbles and he'll grab rebounds. So that's a big part of his game.
Yeah.
And he knows that he has limitations, but he knows that those are things he can do to help his team win. And I think tonight an example of that because, after Steve Kerr made the comments about Jonathan and Brandon needing to do things that need to understand basically where they fit in the hierarchy.
Right.
I think they understood it tonight. I thought they played smart basketball, which is what you want to see. And again, tonight I thought just was more of a failure to defend early and also to get key buckets in the fourth quarter, which has been a problem. Steph saved them a couple of nights ago, and if he didn't do that, who knows how that game would have gone.
Absolutely.
But you can't wait for Steph every night to come save you.
Absolutely.
So.
And Bod's 7+7 on the night. So overall, doing the right things in terms of taking care of the ball and setting things up. Bench 53-26 tonight. Yeah. I mean, they did their job on that end. But on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about where the Warriors didn't do their job. We got to talk about those turnovers. We got to talk about some transition defense. But real quick, get up, young fella. Love to see a smile on Jonathan Kuminga's face.
JK.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World for the year-end clearance sale. Save big on premium mattresses plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Don't even do that. All right, guys, we are at Miller and Lux here at Chase Center, right around the corner, and they're starting to bring the food out. Y'all see this?
Tomahawk steak, baby.
Like, that's my arm. That's, wow, just for proportion, folks. That's amazing.
That's enough meat for 3 people. It
smells lovely. We got Roby here.
Yep.
Come in, and this tomahawk steak.
Yes, tomahawk, 45-day dry age.
45 days.
Hard to go wrong there.
Yeah.
Like,
so what happens is the moisture of the meat. The moisture of the meat comes out, so you concentrate the flavor. So when you get the sear on it, it's just you can see that black rim over the top, really chars nicely. And that's a ribeye cut, so really high marbled, a lot of fat, but as we cook that down, it shrivels up. It's beautiful, beautiful pink, tons of flavor. Fat is flavor, as we say.
That marble is the flavor.
Marble is the flavor.
That's right.
And we've got, Monty. So we've got a little green peppercorn bordelaise sauce, as well as a whipped creamed horseradish for you here to enjoy with your steak as well.
For the bowl.
Look who's here, y'all.
Oh,
Wow.
Festus, Azili, just in time for the food, of
I
course.
know it's food here, so I was like.
Now, Festus, we have a job to do here. We do have to talk basketball.
Not much food here, man.
Clearly,
There's not enough food for everybody.
For us.
now you're either going to have to join the conversation or
This is water.
I'm enjoying the eating.
okay. Well, we got 30 seconds to come out of break. YouTube, I promise you, we're going to get to some of your. Yes, it is. YouTube family,
About
I think
20
they're
more
saying
seconds,
hello. Festus, looking good. LOL, Festus.
15 seconds.
Can I get a bite?
All right, we got to wrap up, guys. All right, welcome back to the Dub Talk, Mancini's Sleep World presented. And I am loving all this new food that we've got on our table.
Boy.
Again, we are here at Miller and Lux, breaking down the 111 to 105 loss for the Warriors against the Indiana Pacers. Now, you talk about the fact, Monte, that the Warriors came out slow. They got punched in the gut pretty early, particularly that 6 turnovers to 1 in that first quarter, but they ended up close, 33-32.
Yeah.
Where did the change happen for the Warriors where turnovers and transition defense started taking over?
Well, I thought you started to see cracks in the second quarter, but again, there were moments there when you kept thinking, okay, if Steph gets going, we can have a game.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the Pacers on offense, they're really hard to guard. And whether it's half court, and if you let them go in transition, you got no chance. Halliburton is one of the best guys in the league at assist to turnover ratio. He had, I think, 9 assists and 1 turnover.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not unusual for him. So that for the Warriors is going to be a challenge no matter what night they play or where they play, whether it's here in Indiana. But I just thought in the second quarter, you wanted to see somebody kind of break loose. And JK showed some action. I mean, but he didn't have anybody riding along with him, And normally that would be Steph or Wiggins. And Wiggins, didn't really have it going late. He was okay earlier. But in the fourth quarter, he and Steph were combined. I think they were 2 of 13 in the fourth quarter. And you need one of those 2 guys to give you something down the stretch. And when neither one of them did, you knew they were in trouble.
What are you seeing in terms of the transition defense? Because I did think that the Warriors were on a line in the half court several times.
Yep.
They were able to get some of those skip pass turnovers and force some turnovers in that way. But in transition, it just felt like the Pacers were track meeting them down the court.
Yeah. Halliburton is also one of the masters at the throw ahead pass. I mean, he takes it out of the basket and he goes.
Yeah.
He goes. And
look at this. I mean, unbelievable pace.
What are you going to do with that?
Right.
So that is one of those things. They play fast mostly because of Halliburton. They're not. Last year they were zooming last year.
Yeah.
This year they're just playing fast. So, and again, it's hard to defend that when you can't set your defense. And we've talked about this many times this year. Is that when a team is giving up turnovers and not able to keep up, your defense doesn't have a chance to play defense. Yeah. You're already playing at a deficit because they're outrunning you and you can't set your defense. Well, the Warriors, when they have a set defense, pretty decent.
They are.
But in transition, if the transition defense isn't on point, they're going to have issues. And tonight, that happened a few too many times. Even when they fixed the turnover issues over the final 3 quarters, there still were a few leakages.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem there. So, again, it's all fixable stuff. But at this point of the season, you want the fixable stuff to be more fixed.
Yeah. You don't want to beat yourself. The Warriors are still top 5 in several defensive categories in the clutch minutes. Yet, if you've already set up a situation in which they can score 13 points off of your 11 turnovers, you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, I do want to ask you about Andrew Wiggins. He's someone that's kind of been flying under the radar as of late. Didn't have a big game against Minnesota offensively, but did do well defensively. And then tonight, similar game in the way that he showed up defensively and also provided a little bit of offense as well. Shot wasn't falling, but what'd you make of his game overall?
Decent. I just thought, he banged a couple more threes.
Yeah.
He had some open looks. And that's the thing. Yeah, he had some
great
open
looks.
And that's the thing. When you in a game like this, when you see the Pacers get open looks and make them, which they tended to do, and the Warriors get open looks and not make them, there's your difference right there. Right. And it's not that Wiggins can't make shots. I mean, he's a 40% shooter from 3.
Right.
So we've seen him do it before, but tonight was not one of those nights. Neither he nor Steph got it going. JK was the one guy who did. So I mean, I put this. The defense didn't play well early.
Yeah.
In some ways, the offense early on helped that. I mean, was a factor in that because you can't defend when you're not in setting your defense.
Right.
But I just thought in the fourth quarter, when they needed buckets, they were just hard to come by. And in a close game, which it was close down the stretch there, anybody's game until the final few seconds. The team that made the most buckets is going to win the game, and that happened to be them. And it's because, again, one of the reasons why is because they have more shooters.
Mm-hmm.
They do have more shooters.
Now, Andrew Wiggins had some really pretty plays, though. When you think about throughout the game, dribble drives, that tornado move that he had, just being able to attack, like, why can't he potentially be a clutch player for them?
He can be. He has been. He has been. And there was a game earlier this year. They actually lost that game. But when Wiggins was the one guy keeping them afloat in the fourth quarter against the Clippers. And it was like, Wiggins was like, Steph, I don't think Steph played in that game.
Yeah.
I remember. And Wiggins was like, okay, I got to do
I'll
this.
take over. Yeah.
And he was dynamite in that fourth quarter, and they came up a little bit short. So Wiggins can do it.
Yeah.
And you think with Wiggins and Steph out there, if one of those guys was able to do it, you got a good shot. And in the fourth quarter tonight, neither one of them did. I think Wiggins was 1 of 7, Steph was 1 of 6, or one or the other. But and those are the guys you depend on. Those are the guys you rely on. We talked about the second scorer. A lot of times it's Wiggins. Buddy got some bucks off the bench tonight, but Buddy in the fourth quarter wasn't around a lot. So, I mean, I look at this game, I just think that when you look at the end of the third quarter where there was some momentum being built, and they took a lead in the fourth quarter, they couldn't hold it because they couldn't get the defense set enough to be able to stall Indiana's offense.
Right. With regards to Steph Curry, because we didn't quite touch deeply on his usage, why is your star not getting the basketball enough until he scores in the third quarter? Yeah. What's happening there?
Okay. I think watching the first half, I think that was actually not a bad idea because the Indies defense was all about Steph.
Yep. And Nembhard was guarding him heavy.
Yes. Yeah. Nembhard was like, okay, I'm going to staple myself to you and stay with you all night long. Yeah. And so other guys were getting open looks. They need to make those open looks.
Right.
And so
Moses Moody missed a few. Yeah. Andrew Wiggins as well.
On a night when Steph doesn't have it going, he's still somehow effective. He's the only starter who was in the plus, even though he didn't shoot he shot poorly.
Yeah. We'll just say that. Exactly.
Yeah. And he was +6. And
That's
so
true.
It's because he's out there and he's got 7 assists. He's got shots for his teammates, and they just need to make a few more of them. If they make 2 or 3 more of those shots, then the Warriors probably win the game.
Okay, well, now the Warriors have to find a win, get in the win column again. And we're going to talk about that big-time game coming up on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just Santa coming to town, folks. Okay? Got to talk about the game on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. It's Dubs Talk Live. All right. Hey, YouTube, I am so sorry. We were a little distracted in that first break, but we are here for you. Okay. Exactly. Where's Festus? I saw there's one hilarious comment. I don't know where it was, but they said that the way that the Warriors are playing is like the way that you would write an R&B song. They're in their emotions. I am paraphrasing, but that was hilarious. Ball Boy saying Kuminga's trade value going up. Regardless of where he ends up with the Warriors, with some other team, absolutely. Playing like this, he's allowing his value to be seen and what he can do on the floor.
For sure. People, the emotional part of it, that's true.
Yep.
You watch in the first half, there were a number of times when guys were getting caught with the refs.
Right.
And it's tough to stay focused when you're doing that. Draymond has a bad habit of doing that. He's usually able to recover and get back into the game. Mm-hmm. But, when you're spending so much time fussing at the refs, you're not helping your team very much.
And they also said that a lot of people in the comments talking about needing a center. Some people even saying TJD should have closed the game. He had a really great start today. We only got 45 seconds here, but what do you think of TJD's play, and then also just the need for a center overall?
I like TJD, and I think he's solid and does what he needs to do. He's not out there in the fourth quarter because, frankly, the Warriors trust Draymond Green more than anybody else in Kevon Looney because they've been there before and done it before in the fourth quarter in crunch time, in big moments. So I think that's something that Trace is still learning, but they do have to like what Trace has been doing lately. The last couple of games.
Camera, we don't see it. 15 seconds, you told me.
All right, welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini Sleep World. The Warriors took the L tonight against the Pacers, but they got another person coming to Chase Center, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers actually took a particular person named LeBron James, who happens to be, according to NBA Communications, the #1 viewed player in the NBA. So you can imagine lots of eyeballs on this game. And over the years, this game against the Lakers, Warriors versus the Lakers, has always been a saga. It's been a battle of heroes. It's just been something that it's popcorn television. It's always important.
It goes back to the two superstars.
Yeah.
You know, they've got their superstar. Warriors have theirs. You got two first ballot Hall of Famers who have made a game. LeBron is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Steph is the three-point king.
Right.
Steph changed the game. LeBron can't be duplicated. You know,
so the narratives, like all the different,
So when these two guys play each other, there's a lot of mutual respect, but there's also a ton of competitive juice. They want to slay each other. You know, they do. They do. And they've been in so many wars over the years, even when LeBron was back in Miami, and also in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, right.
More in Cleveland, but now that he's on the West Coast, you see him more often. And so you just kind of, and it's the Lakers too. And let's face it, the Lakers for so many years in their existence were so superior to the Warriors. And more than the last 10 years, it's been the Warriors more so. And so the Warriors look at the Lakers still to this day like something they have to beat just to make a statement.
Absolutely.
And I know Steph wants to do it.
I know they're not gonna have to dig deep to get excited for this game. Of course, it's gonna be on Christmas Day. I had a wish list in the Warriors pregame for the Warriors. It was clarity on JK. It was a favorable trade market for a stretch 5.
Okay.
And a 51-point win. Could be against the Lakers. Who knows? I just want them to balance out that Memphis Grizzlies loss. What would you want for a New Year's resolution for the Warriors?
I want to see the bench play consistent basketball. I want to see Wiggins find his best self.
Okay.
Because he is so crucial for this team. When he plays well, he's a barometer. That finals back in 22, that was Wiggins and Steph mostly, and they did it. So you want to see that. I did write once before that if the Warriors were looking for a stretch 5, once upon a time, the guy that they saw tonight on the other team would be a pretty good target.
I had thoughts about that. Y'all, thank you for breaking down this game with us. This has been Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini Sleep World. We got stuff to do here. Enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. Talk to you soon. Keep going, because I got thoughts.
Because Miles is a good rim protector.
Yes.
And he can shoot the 3. I just like him. And for a while there, he was on a reasonable contract. I think that's changed. But Indiana, at one point, considered moving him. And I think they thought, maybe it's not a good idea. And so he helps the team a lot because he's hard to defend because he's shooting from 25 feet.
Yeah.
How many 5s can do that on a consistent basis?
Absolutely.
2, 3?
Right.
Cat? Him and Cat, maybe,
Right. And he's been playing eat your food. I'm just gonna go on a rant a little bit about not even a rant. I do love Miles Turner.
Yeah.
I think he is a wonderful big.
Yep.
He fits the game so well today. He stretches the floor. He protects the rim. He has size. He's agile. He's active. Monte, sit down, eat. Let's talk about it. We got tomahawk steak. We got some potato puree. We got some crispy Brussels sprouts. But we're talking about Miles Turner right now. Let's focus in. But I'm telling you. And guess what? Guess whose contract is expiring? Miles Turner. Guess whose contract this year is worth about $20 million? Miles Turner. Imagine.
The pregame show said she wants a stretch 5.
I'm just saying. And I was watching Miles Turner pregame. I mean, literally, his game would be immaculate for, especially alongside a point guard like Steph Curry. The pick and pop, the pick and pop.
Oh, yeah,
Ooh.
he's doing that. And he's a rim protector.
And he's a rim protector.
He's going to play physical. He's going to play physical. By the way, shout out to you two. But hey, I'm just looking at the time how I say, Zena, look at Zena, man. She's making all this money. She's got the steak. She's got
Oh my gosh.
the bottle of wine, Miller and Lux.
Y'all see how they
Monty's
treat
just
me?
chilling. Monty said, the hell with writing and talking.
I already wrote. I'll write some more after this.
Oh, he'll write some more after this. When you're a Hall of Famer like Monty, you dictate when you write. There are no deadlines for
That's
Monty
real.
Poole.
I appreciate the comment. both teams play hard, and that's I would say. I mean, this is a team that can score in the 130s if they really wanted to, in the 120s if they really want to. And I'm talking about the Pacers. Defense was relatively good, right, in the sense of keeping them to 111 and 104.
In the fourth quarter.
Yes, especially particularly in the fourth quarter, not allowing them to just go off and do what the Kings essentially allowed them to do, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. Now, focus, Otis beat LA. That's right. That's like the focus here.
Doing it. Look at Monty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, let's see if I can see any more.
Yeah, we know why we came.
Monte circling the table like a hawk, mouth is watering.
Oh man,
I think that's
Hey, you
enough
two,
there, guys.
You two, look, I got the fork in the
Come on in
knife,
here.
baby.
Come on in here.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Oh, last question. Zena, since you've started covering the Warriors, has anyone ever called you Zena Warrior Princess? Absolutely. Many a times. All right, guys.
Look at that one.
Yeah. Oh, what? Are you kidding?
I've been going with the pride of y'all. She didn't say Zena the Warrior Princess.
It's absolutely Zena
That was
the
one of
Warrior
my favorite
Princess.
shows growing up.
Yeah, I
I
can't do
had
the
television.
hoot and hollering like she did, but
she's
anywho, we are carrying on. We're gonna enjoy this meal. We
Yep.
appreciate y'all checking in with us, YouTube fam. As always, happy holidays. Anyone that isn't turning in, we're not gonna have Dubs Talk live on Christmas, but actually, is it gonna be us three?
It's gonna be.
It's going to be us three on Christmas Day. So make sure to tune in on Warriors post game live.
Yep.
We'll be live with you all. But appreciate you. Happy holidays. Happy
Happy
Hanukkah.
holidays.
Anything you're celebrating, enjoy it with your family and friends. All right. Good night, y'all.
time to eat.